How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. We've been doing a lot of work on the log splitter, the farm-all tractor, the camper, and it's starting to cool off a little bit. So I want to do a couple little projects in the garage here. We're going to build some custom shelf brackets. I'm going to build 4 of these, and I'm not going to be putting the tops on them. I'm actually going to send one set of these brackets to Daryl Stokes. If you guys know, he's the guy that I met down in Arizona. We went to the Grand Canyon together, which was great. I'm going to send him a set of these to him, and we're going to put tops on them. And I noticed Daryl's been doing some pretty cool work with some wood, and I thought I'd build him one of these shelf brackets and see what type of shelf bracket or top that he would come up with. So what I'm going to do is we're going to whip up a couple of these, and then we're going to get him a set sent down there, and then hopefully I can put these videos pretty close to each other, and I'll link you to his shelf. We'll see what he does with it. I'm sure Daryl will come up with something pretty awesome. So let's get to showing you what I have to work with and what we're going to be doing with it. Okay, now this is basically just a rear sprocket off of a motorcycle, and I would like to tell Lee thanks for the sprocket. I looked everywhere for a sprocket, couldn't find one, and mentioned it to him, and there was one sitting outside my garage. I didn't need a good one, I just needed a sprocket. And this is a beautiful sprocket. So this will be the sprocket we're going to be using. And what we're going to do with this sprocket is we're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to cut those 2 halves in halves again. So we're going to cut this sprocket into quarters, and these are actually going to be our shelf support, which is going to be, I think, pretty cool. And then we got some steel here. I went and picked these up. I couldn't get out to what's the name of the place? Huntington Steel. I go out there and I usually pick that stuff up in 20-foot sections, and I couldn't get it in a 20-foot section. I went to Lowe's and picked this up, and they had 2 different ones here. One is actually a 1/4 inch thick, and the other one is about probably 3/16. I'm pretty sure that's what I know. This one here is 1/4 inch. It's very heavy. And then this one here is, yeah, I would say 1, 2, yeah, probably 3/16, maybe just a, oh, it might be a 1/4. By looking at it, they're both 1/4. So I probably paid as much for these 2 pieces as a 20-foot section. These were over 30 bucks. So not scrap, good steel. I think it's going to be pretty nice. So this is what we got to work with, and we got some tools. We're going to get her whipped up and see what we can come up with. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the sprocket cut into the quarters that we need it. Now the first cut we want to do on this thing is we basically just want to cut it in half. And we're going to do the best that we can. I tried to spray a little that blue dye on there to be able to see this scratch mark. So we're basically going to cut this thing right in half. So I'm going to go over there and we're going to get this cut in half, and then once we got that cut in half, we'll use the square on here so we get a good square shelf to cut that piece in half. Now what I've done here is I measured this thing. It's 10 inches from the end of the tooth to the end of the tooth. I measured up here to 5 inches. And we're just going to scribe this thing down. And this is where this one will be cut off. So we'll cut that one right there. And we'll do the same thing with the other one. Alright, now that we got it all cut, we're just going to sand the edges, square them up real nice, and get them ready for the other pieces. Okay, as you guys can see, we got our sprocket into 4 sections now, and got it all cleaned up. So now what we got to do is measure out our angle bracket we're going to use the steel for. So if we was to take these and put these like so, we're going to have a 90-degree angle. So what we want to do is measure out what size we want our shelf bracket to be, and we'll go from there. That's all I got to do now. We'll get our pieces cut, and I'm thinking about 6 inches. So you're basically going to have a 6-inch shelf. It could be 7 inches, it could be 8 inches. You could actually let your wood overhang on it a little more, but I'm thinking 6 inches here. So I think that's going to work out probably best. I could go 6.5. Then if you wanted a piece of wood on there, you could cut down you could put a 2 or 1x8 on there, and 1x8. Yeah, if I go 6.5, we're going to go 6.5. I think that's a fair number on there. So we're going to get this other steel here cut. This steel here, we're going to get it cut. We're going to cut 8 of them 6.5 inches long. Alright, I was sitting here figuring out how I'm going to mark all the bolt holes, because we need to be able to bolt these to the wall or screw them to the wall or screw the boards to them. So what I did is I just made a little template, and I put it on this one, and then I flip it over and put it on this one. That's one set. And then I'll do the same with this one. Of course, this one here won't matter, but I'm just going to mark these with just a little bit of chalk or soapstone. And then I'm going to take them over to the anvil, and we're going to punch each one of these. Now they don't have to be perfect, they just have to be on there as best you can. I'm just drilling a 3/16 hole through each one of these where I punched it. It should give you a fairly decent sized screw you can put through these. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get each one of these set up with a magnet and get them welded. And if you noticed, I left a distance, more of a distance here than here. In the same way with this one, more of a distance here because I got a weld on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up like so, and we're going to put a magnet on each one of them here. That way we'll have a nice 90-degree angle when we weld these. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get these all welded up, get all these angles welded, and then we'll come back and put these guys in. But we do want to make sure we put them in all exactly the same so they look right when we put them on the wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and work on getting these together and getting them welded. Okay, we got all of our brackets welded now, and all we have to do is put the piece of sprocket in there. This is basically what they're going to look like when they're finished. The only problem I'm having is actually holding it into its spot where I need it. But I'm going to figure something out here and get these guys welded in. Alright, what I've done is I measured this. This is the center of it's 3/4 of an inch. Because it's 1.5 inches thick or wide. So what I did is I put a couple little magnets behind here to kind of hold it into place until I can get it tacked in there. So this should work. Now we should be able to take the magnets off and go ahead and weld it up. Okay, all of our brackets are done now. All I got to do is get them wire brushed real good, and we're going to get a coat of primer on them, primer them up, and they should be pretty well done. Alright, we got the primer on them. They do look actually really cool. I mean, this is definitely a custom shelf bracket, and it's literally made from steel. These things are not light, they're actually very heavy. So that's why I put little bigger holes in them so you can put some heavier screws in them to the wall. But I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, I probably did, but I'm going to send a set of these out to Daryl Stokes in Utah. He's the gentleman that I met out in Arizona when me and Julie went to the Grand Canyon. He built his own camper basically from scratch, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to leave a link at the top of the page here for Daryl's channel, and I'm going to be sending Daryl a set of these. And I've seen some of his custom woodworking. He does some really nice woodworking. And I thought maybe send him out a set of these shelf brackets so he can put a nice, see what kind of top he could come up with on there. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'll make a video when I put my top on, and I'll leave a link to Daryl's channel when I put my top on, and hopefully he'll have his top on too. He should have it done. I'll make sure I weigh up on him and he can get his top done too. So that way you guys can see what kind of tops we come up for these. So what kind of shelf. We got the brackets. All we need is that shelf. So I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.